Hey guys, Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming. So this is the first episode of Tactica. It's going to be a series on just tactics for different tabletop war games with sort of a heavier flow on Warhammer 40,000. Go with what you know, right? So the first one is going to be about getting the most out of your unit in the shooting phase. The shooting phase is king right now in Warhammer 40,000, as most people know, which is sad because a lot of really good close combat units out there are just getting sort of dusty on the shelves. But the reason I'm going to start with this one is, one, the shooting phase is so important, and two, because there's a lot of mistakes made in the shooting phase. I've made them, new gamers make them, even veterans make the same sort of mistake. So I'm going to flip to the minis in a second, and we'll get to it right away. Alright guys, so here's kind of the scenario you come across in some games. So we got a unit of Ultramarines down here in a little square, and we've got obviously Vindicator and a Black Templar Crusader squad. Now this is the issue that I've seen people make mistakes on. You're kind of given a couple options what to fire upon, right? So you've got the Vindicator, which is a pretty big threat with its large blast template, and the Crusader squad, which has comparable firepower in some aspects to the Space Marines down below. A bit more of the close range shooting. So you got a choice to make. Now, again, as I said before, it's about getting the most out of a unit. So you can either fire, say, the Vindicator, and the other weapons in your squad there would be the missile launcher right here, the plasma pistol, and the plasma gun. Now you do have a fair chance of hitting. Actually, you have a really good chance of hitting with the ballistic skill of a Space Marine. You have a fair to poor chance of actually damaging it. Now, if you are lucky, you may glance it to death, maybe not. However, the big trade-off for that is you have 7 Marines doing absolutely nothing. Bolters can't even touch that thing. So you always got to keep in mind, you want to get the most out of a unit, right? So your best bet is to fire at the Black Templars. Not only will you have more of an effect with the missile launcher, the plasma gun, the plasma pistol, you also get the rest of your 7 Marines active. Alright? You end up probably doing more damage to that squad with a guarantee of actually doing damage than with the Vindicator. And a lot of people, the mistake I've seen is where people go, oh no, there's a Vindicator, that's a big threat, and they pour fire to that. You get 4 shots altogether, say 2 or 3 hit, and you may get a glance, you may get a pen if you're lucky, but for the most part, the Vindicator will still be able to fire, and that Crusader squad will still be attacking. Now, if we go over here and we actually end up saying, say we want to fire on the Crusader squad, now we've got a lot more shots, especially at close range. You have 14 bolter shots going in, 2 plasma gun, a plasma pistol, and more often than not, you'd probably use a frag grenade. Now, this is just an example using the models I have. However, it does work with lots of other squads from different armies. So, my general tendency is to go for the squad. Normally, I will probably have another weapon to deal with the Vindicator that's better than this tactical squad, but I would go with the Crusader squad. You have far more chance of doing damage to that squad than the Vindicator. That's your target. So that's a mistake you want to avoid. Always keep in mind of getting the most out of your unit. Now, saying you can actually try and flip this error that most people make around on your opponent. So for this instance, we'll actually be in control of the Black Templars, right? So you have your Crusader squad up at the top there, and your Vindicator. Say, for instance, these Ultramarines are sitting on top of an objective that you want to take. Charging in with your squad, getting your squad close enough, will be risky. You're out in the open, you could get shot up. So you want to kind of force your opponent to make the wrong choice. So in doing so, you'd want to say, for instance, move the Vindicator up. Right? Now again, there is a risk involved. They may actually be able to damage it, get a weapon destroyed result, maybe actually take it out. Chances are slimmer on that. However, by trying to do that, he will put his firepower on that, leaving your squad unmolested for the most part. Then when you charge in, you only have to really worry about Overwatch, and that's not too bad a thing. At the same time, it's also taking, again, 7 Marines completely out of the equation. They're sitting there doing nothing. It's an advantage to you. Less shots on your units. One unit won't get shot up at all, and you forced them to make a critical error. So, excuse me. So yeah, that was kind of the thing you want to do to your opponent. Get them to make the same mistakes you don't want to make. So there you go, guys. That's the first episode. I hope it helped. Always keep in mind that this is a tactic that can work sometimes. It'll work against you sometimes. I still make the same mistake of shooting at the wrong stuff at the wrong time. But I always try and do it to my opponent. Give them too much to shoot at. Give them multiple choices and hope they take the wrong one. This is a tactic that sometimes just won't work for you, unfortunately. They're armies like orcs, Tyranids. There's just too many of them. You just kind of have to make the right choice out of a whole bunch of bad choices. I hope it helped. Keep this in mind when next time you play a game, next time you're offered that choice, maybe you can twist it on your opponent. As always, if you like what you saw, hit like, share, subscribe, what have you. Share it with your friends, what have you. Until next time, keep rolling dice, and we'll see you in the next video.